Hammond! May, you idiot!
He's going to be cross, isn't he?
Hammond!
That's only relevant if we let him out. Let's leave him in. I love being reunited with these after a trip. It is really weird seeing them out of context.
I have to commend you on your choice of livery.
Wait a minute.
What?
After all we went through, you're now being nice about my car.
Well, I've always admitted that I do like the Subaru. You once said the Subaru is the car you own and drive. The Evo is the one you take out for a blast.
Yes.
But if you want to go to the shops or go on holiday, you actually have a Subaru. I think, I know you're right. Obviously, for the purposes of television, you're talking crap. But
on the subject of the Evo,
God, what happened to that?
you know full well. You see, when it happened, your massive crash, when you crashed it, when you had a big... James...
The interior's in pretty good
James, you
nick in
can't
this,
deny
actually.
it forever. It happened. When it happened, when you lost it, binned it, trashed it, I was genuinely gutted because there was a real sense that that is the playmate, the sparring partner for this car. And without that one, it was all out of balance. So
You're going to keep this?
I am, actually. I love it. It was... OK, we'll talk about mine for a minute. And I want to... It was... I've always loved these, but it's a bit like... The only other car I can think of that does it, Porsche Boxster. You see them around, you think, it's just a Porsche Boxster, it's nothing. Any generation. And then you get in it and you drive it, you think, oh my God, this thing is absolutely amazing. And it's the same with this. I thought, I don't know what a Subaru's like, I know how it would feel. As soon as I got in it...
Yeah, it felt very special.
Yeah.
But they are race-bred pedigree cars. That's the thing. They are effectively homologation cars.
But this was this was rallying first, and then they sort of they made a saloon out of a rally car rather than the other way around.
The thing is, we drove these when they were new. Let's be honest, because we're quite old now. We've been doing this for far too long.
You did.
But I thought when it was new, I thought, you know, it's quite a raw car. It's not, you know, there's no luxury appointments or any of that stuff. But when I got back into it now, after what, 15 years or so, it almost feels like a classic car. There's nothing to it, but it's nice for that. It's only got the important bits through which you commune with the machine. You know, all that stuff.
Will you concede that spiritually, that is more digital, and the Subaru, by comparison, is more analog?
No.
Really?
What's digital about it?
I'd say the performance of that is more heavily digitally enhanced than this. I think this is simply the architecture of it, the way it's put together and what it's put together with, rather than electronic.
Well, there isn't.
It's just how they feel. I'm just saying how they feel.
I don't feel that. When I'm in that feels like a very, very basic car in which the important bits of being a car, like steering, transmission, feedback, you know, are all spot on, because that's what it needs to be a rally car. It wouldn't work without that, otherwise you wouldn't be able to control it so well.
Yeah.
So all of that's what makes it feel special when you're just driving it
into
along a road or into a wall, yes.
Can we just address...
Why?
What have you done? What have you done?
I felt terrible about that.
I mean, anybody watching will have seen the show by now to know, hopefully, and if not, I don't want to give anything away.
But I pranged it.
And how ruined is it?
Well, it still goes.
Yes.
Which is the point. I mean, let's be honest, I did a more thorough test than... Shut up!
You did.
It's
not a rally car.
The point about a rally car in use on a rally is that they get crashed all the time and they're out in the field, so it's bush mechanics. They're beaten back into shape with rubber mallets and crowbars, and then they continue. And I proved that the Evo can sustain that sort of punishment and continue. You didn't do that, neither did he, so you didn't do a thorough test. As a motoring journalist, I did a proper test of this car and proved that it's fit for the job.
Did that explanation of what happened come to mind in the middle of the night and you sat up and said, I've got it, I know what I did, it was a test?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
Didn't come to mind as I was actually hitting the wall.
What went through your mind?
I just thought I'm going to hit the wall, so I mustn't hit the cameraman. I even thought I mustn't hit Jeremy Clarkson, which is a strange thing to think. So I just tried to turn sideways and not hit it straight on.
Okay, that's post.
The realisation came pretty quickly.
When you realised I've overdone this?
Yes, bollocks.
Why
moment.
didn't you brake?
Well, you can't.
The ice I'm on is thin.
Yeah.
I know.
And I apologise for taking what is rightfully your role and very
that's-
out of character for me. But you can't brake and then think, do you know, I'll go back and do that just a little bit earlier. And I was trying to win.
You really were.
Yeah. I don't know why. I mean, I don't care about winning stuff, but...
Right. So have you stolen
Anyway.
my roll? Just before we move off this...
Can I say
carnage-
something else?
Yes.
I mean, we might as well get this all cleared up.
Yeah, go
because
on.
it's been rather misreported. It wasn't that bad a crash.
But there is
No,
no...
I mean-
You're leaning on a ruined car, man.
I
Look at it.
I ruined the car, but
And oh God, it's a bit... It smells a bit damp.
yeah, it did get a bit.
It
Yeah.
did,
But
yeah.
it was. I mean, I only went to hospital. That was only a precautionary thing to make sure I hadn't fractured my skull or anything. But I obviously hadn't. I was fine, just a bit stiff.
Oh wait, you can't brush it off and like running for a bus and falling over and getting back up and pretending you haven't twisted your ankle. You did.
Yeah, I did, but it wasn't serious. Lots of people have had much worse accidents.
So you've stolen my thing. That's me done.
But I did
now.
ruin the car, and I felt bad about that because I did love it.
Right, I want to have a look at mine now. Can we have a look at mine? We've talked about yours lots. Thing is, there are a billion different Imprezas, but I do rather like this particular example because...
Be honest.
I don't think I mentioned, by the way, once on the film. I don't think I did.
Shut it.
Honestly.
I'm going to kill you.
I don't think I mentioned once in the film that it has adjustable centre lock. You can move the extent to which it's locked about here with this wheel. Centre diff. You can move the...
Oh, I wish you'd mentioned that.
I might have felt it was a bit too nerdy
Yes.
for us. Yeah.
Okay, be honest.
Yeah.
I know you're very good on your 911s.
Yeah.
You can say C2, C2S, GT3, GT3 RS, and you know which one's rear-wheel drive, which one's four-wheel, which one's got a turbo, which one hasn't.
Yes.
Do you honestly know all your Subaru Impreza variants? Because it is pretty complicated. Some of them are very obscure, some of them are country-specific.
I mean, I did say in the film how there'd be a new model and then there'll be new derivations of the model and then there'll be a new special edition.
Yep.
And I mean, this is the V Limited. This is a Japan-only car, I believe. But no, I don't think anybody...
I don't think anybody really knows.
No, I don't think even Subaru would know.
No, and half of them get modified anyway,
Yes.
and people tweak bits on them and add bits from other ones, and it's impossible. I suspect every single one is different.
See,
That's less true of these, I think.
I don't think they've been quite as prolific as these.
No, they tend to be the Evo 7, the Evo 8, the Evo 8 with the door missing.
Key question. It's all happened now. It's done. We're back. So are the cars. What are you going to do with that? Are you keeping it? Is
No.
It? No.
I don't know if we can admit this, it's actually a write-off. In road use
Is
terms.
it? You destroy it?
Yeah, because it's bent.
Oh, that's a shame.
Because in the garage, I didn't do very much of this because obviously I was a bit stiff, but they actually had to put a hydraulic jack in there and push the engine back that way about 3 inches. Yeah. But what was amazing, I mean, you saw this in the film when I was driving on, they got it so right that I could sit there hands off
Oh,
and
it was
drive along, and it
incredible.
it all ran straight and true, it braked straight and true. I did feel bad, I still feel bad about wrecking that car. A, because I loved it. B, because I know a lot of people watching will be
Yep.
either, the
You have
world
to
is
be one of the-
divided.
yeah.
You can't really be both. And I know that they're now all pretty annoyed with me.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if you weren't targeted on the street, beaten up for
Yeah.
what you did. Well, you'll be glad to know I am keeping this, and I think I'm going to rework it and turn it into an absolute monster. Am I childish for that?
Do you mean spoil it?
No, these will take a heck of a lot of tweakery. Well, Martin,
Shut up!
honestly, it's not a rally car, never was. No, I'm going to see if I can get like massive horsepower out of it and make it a bit of an angry...
But it already is.
Yeah, but the angrier.
The people at Subaru Tecnica Internazionale, or whatever they call
Yes,
themselves,
probably not that.
it's something like that,
Probably.
they know. They've put hundreds of thousands of hours into working out how this thing
Yeah, but
should be set up.
But
And-
it's
and
still-
Richard Hammond in his garage, nice garage there you
I know a
have,
lot more.
it is not going to improve it.
No, I'm not going to improve it for general use, but if I were to make it more focused, more of a proper actual.
Well, it is pretty focused. It's a rally car.
So we should, while he's struggling boot, mention it.
The executive business car.
I mean, you can't argue the RS4 is a bloody good car.
But I would say cheating, which is
So
also in
it's-
the spirit of rallying, admittedly. But
Yeah, yeah.
but it's not. I mean, just because it has the word quattro on it, it's
Doesn't make it a quattro. No, you could write space shuttle on it. It doesn't make it one of those either.
it merely means that it has a four-wheel drive system. But it's not a rally car. These are rally cars in that these are the road-going versions of the cars that were actually used in rallies. That's the whole point. That's why these cars exist. That car doesn't exist for that reason. That car exists to take people to meetings.
Yes.
In grey rooms.
Yes.
With a squeaky whiteboard and a flip chart and some stuff about pursuing excellence.
So look, we've never sort of post a trip gathered the cars together before and sat with them. So, moment of absolute honesty.
Yes.
Do you still stick to what you said at the beginning? Do you still feel the EVO is the best expression of that? I mean, you're wrong if you do.
I doubted myself at the beginning, but I felt I should speak up for the car I'd chosen, which, to be honest, I chose because it was yellow.
You do
and I like a
yellow
yellow thing.
Yes, yes.
But now I've been reunited with it, having previously been someone who would have automatically said, actually, I'd have a Subaru. I'm going to say I would have an EVO. If that car was in slightly better condition, if somebody hadn't vandalised it, I'd probably have kept it.
Yeah.
In fact, I briefly did start looking around for another one in yellow. Very difficult to find. A totally unmolested, original.
Because usually somebody's done something like that.
I think if you're going to be a bit of a chav, you've got to do it properly. And the EVO is a bit more chavvy.
Ooh.
You see, because I think the Subaru's a little bit knowing. I think people who are very interested in motorsport history would have opinions on which Impreza you have and what its strengths and weaknesses are. They probably know which rallies it won and which ones it proved to be unreliable. People just see an EVO and basically make a grunting noise and want to mount it. That's the point of it.
Better than what you did to it. You think the EVO is the more chavvy of the two?
Yeah.
James, we did make it clear in the film that these two cars divide the world.
They do, yeah.
So they have a rabidly passionate following, each of them.
And the other following will hate you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the other following already hates you because you were in the EVO. Then you crashed the EVO.
No, the EVO following hate me as well.
And then you compounded it by saying they're more chavvy than the Subaru.
In a nice way. In a positive, inclusive, mindful, 21st century way. There's nothing wrong with chavs. I'm chavvy.
Okay.
So, suits me.
It's not often do we total cars, is it?
No.
I mean, I've totaled a few,
Well, you have.
but not that many.
Well, twice as many as I have.
Yeah. All right.
Thank you for watching.
What? Oh, this? I thought you meant the show.
Well, both.
Well, I got confused. Because if you haven't yet seen the show in which James May does that and condemns himself to facing an avalanche of hate
Spoiler
from half
alert.
the world, watch it. Do you want to say like, comment and subscribe?
Well, you said it now. Like, comment, subscribe.
Yes. Right, I've had enough of this. I'm going. I'm taking my car now. If I'm taking it, I might as well take it. So get off it. Are you taking yours, James?
No, I'll just leave it for a bit.
See?
Well, you'll have to speak up. Yeah, no, it is. It's good. I'll tell you what, the boot space is quite good in the RS4, isn't it? More like the sort of boot space you'd expect in a, I don't know, fairly large executive saloon.